Crystal Beasts. I played this deck once before on the channel. It was more of a pure build, but today we're going to try to be abusing Dragon Queen of Tragic Endings. I think that, unfortunately, the Crystal Beast boss monsters are really just bad, and the deck is probably better off played as more of a pure version, but we're going to try and exploit Dragon Queen today. We're using the Volcanic package because, of course, you can search this continuous spell. We're also using Prohibition and Deify as some supplemental continuous spells, and then, of course, all the Crystal Beast stuff. So Crystal Release gets you one. Sapphire Pegasus just gets you one for free. So we're just going to try to abuse this card. For those of you who don't know what it does, when you control 3 continuous spells, you can special it, and when it inflicts battle damage, you draw one, and your opponent chooses one to discard. And then also you can revive it during your standby phase by sending a continuous you control to the graveyard. The fact that your opponent gets to pick the card that they send is kind of an issue, but the bigger issue, the number one biggest issue, is that this card is just tiny. Like, if it was 26 attack and 19 defense, probably be pretty legit, but it's just 19. It doesn't get over anything. It doesn't even get over Alias. If it was 1950, it would be like better, I get, but it should really just be big. It should just be like 26. If that was the stat line, card might be pretty all right, but instead it's like super mediocre. That being said, we are all about that cope here on this channel, and especially when it involves Crystal Beast, because it's a very nostalgic and fun archetype. So let's go ahead and take a look at the replays we've got. So first one up against, I think the two that I'm using in here are against Dark Gaia and Zombies. So this one's against Dark Gaia, right? So we go first, and this particular match, the Deify felt quite bad, honestly. Felt like it was hurting me more than it was hurting my opponent. Specifically because of the interaction with Shell and nothing else. That's like the only thing it hurts, I think, in here, where you just can't pitch for Blaze Accelerator. And I think that ends up being my downfall here, that I just like slammed the Deify and then drew into Shell. So we hit in. I'm trying to play greedy with my mirror. But I figure he's played around it long enough here, so we should just use it. I kind of have to get rid of the Ab-Zero, so I Judgment. And then I end up like taking a look at his hand. And I just conclude that his hand is too good, and we go to the next game. So we sort of screwed ourselves up there in game number 1. We can maybe pull it back in game number 2. We open the Accelerator with the Rocket, which I think happens again multiple times. I don't know how many times this happened, but it was a lot. So he like dusts my Accelerator on activation, but I just get it back. A little weird. He goes set Snowman, I hit into the Snowman. We're like, whatever. Unfortunately, he spaces the Torrential, and then Kai says the call. If it had gone the other way around, we wouldn't have had to eat this 24. So we activate Accelerator, drop Dragon Queen Pass, and this feels real precarious. But actually, we're kind of able to play our way out of it because he doesn't have an out. So we go for the Storm that forces the Judgment that we were pretty sure he had. We hit him with Dragon Queen, force the Mirror Force. And we go for Brain Control here. The last one is just a Dust Tornado, so he uses it on my back row. Once again, he's like hit all 3 Crystal Releases with his Spell Trap removal. So we decide not to bring back the Dragon Queen because I can just drop another one. And here we can bring one back, and we can summon the Airbell, and we can Crash Go for game. So that was actually probably the coolest dub that we had, sort of being able to play our way out of a tough spot there, honestly. Opponent opens up with the standard Stratos, searching a bunch of stuff, sets both his back row pass. I'm trying to force both of them here, so I do manage to do so. It's because he stops my Dragon Queen from coming down. So we just gotta hope he doesn't have like even more. And luckily for us, he doesn't, so we can make a huge play here. We drop both the Dragon Queens and just go +4, like, unironically. I think. Let me see. He was on 5 cards, and I was, I don't know. We draw 2, he discards 2. It's +4, you know? It's actually, like, so nuts. So here he can go Sidra Caius, which I think was the best play available to him. But unfortunately, I just have this Monk chilling in my hand, which means we're going to out it with the Arcanite and attack for game. So that, I guess, this was about as sacky as a hand as I could have probably drawn in that game number 3, I'm not going to lie. All right, up against Zombies. What happened in this game? Did I lose RPS? I think I did. Yeah. So he goes set, I go Rocket. Our opening hand is not bad here. Yeah, it's a pretty good opening hand, not going to lie. We just hit over, we get our Crystal Release spaced in end phase, get that Sapphire Pegasus. We go for the You know what? I think we just kind of ended up drawing into nothing. We didn't draw any of our win cons this game or something. So we tried to get over the turtle with a funny trick here. And this position is honestly fine if we just hadn't kept drawing dead cards. Like, if we'd drawn a single out, we might have been chilling, but yeah, now we're just not. Like, we need, even Dragon Queen would be pretty good here. I mean, it would let him pitch the Treeborn, I guess, but we get a draw, you know, so it's, I don't know why he's on Treeborn. It seems real weird. Anyway, we set the Torrential, and we could maybe potentially recover if we resolve a big Torrential here, although we are very low on life. But I think he just has Solemn, so yeah, that's going to be the end of the game. Tough game number 1. I feel like we could have maybe, if we'd drawn a little better, we might have had a shot there. Game number 2, we open a sick hand. I mean, just absolutely everything you could want. We have that Dust Shoot. His hand's pretty good too. And I think I made a slight mistake here as well, where I could have, like, at some point I could have set the Monk to avoid getting Dust Shoot, but I just decided not to for some reason. Yeah, I probably should have just set it. I wanted to, like, keep the Torrential alive, but I probably should have just set it because we knew about that. We knew about that Dust Shoot, but we're just beating him with a Sapphire Pegasus. He could have gone for Brain Devo. We summoned Dragon Queen, but it is Spirit Reaper, which sucks. He goes for the Kais. We have that Torrential, though, which is very good. We get to bring back the Dragon Queen, and we have Starlight Road, and that's going to be the end of the game. So, pretty clean game number 2, following the turn 1 Dust Shoot, as is typical. Game 3, we have a nice hand, too. Honestly, we drew pretty well against the zombie player every game. Can't complain about that. What happened to this game? I had, like, one turn where I super threw this game, I think, and then it just, like, didn't matter because he had Dark Armed. And I was just, well, even if I had played that turn perfectly, I'd have gotten sacked by Dark Arm next turn. So, was this the turn? Okay, I just, first of all, he should have held this Twister. But then, for some reason, rather than, like, just using Gale on the Gores and making Goyo or something, I decided to go Brionac. And that was just completely wrong. This was just completely wrong. I mean, like I said, he top decks Dad, so it just doesn't matter, but, like, if he hadn't top decked Dad, I probably would have won this if I just, like, played it competently. Instead, I left myself in, like, a stupid bad spot. So, yeah, not a big fan of my play in that game number 3. This deck, it's kind of fun. It's kind of goofy. Resolving Dragon Queen obviously feels great if it happens, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty, like, D tier quality. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like an uphill battle every match. That being said, still pretty cool, pretty fun games, nice opponents and all of that. So I enjoyed myself in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, become a member, and I'll see you tomorrow.